far me I come from, I'm not talking just terms of distance. But me say, for have, when me have a whole heap of things me have to do. A whole heap of selling, a whole heap of hard work, a whole heap of juggling and hustling. Right? I did everything which is legal and ethical. Right? And socially acceptable to reach where I'm at. So last year, 2021, March, April, I rented this 2-bedroom house to a gentleman, and I'm gonna call him Mr. D. He came and he rented this place. When he came, he said it was 2 of them, he and his brother, but his brother was at work. So of course, the paperwork was done without his brother. A week after, his brother came. All right. The water bill, it's a self-contained house, meaning that the tenants have their own kitchenette, their own bathroom, their own light meter, their own bedroom, their own entrance, except for the water meter, right? The water bill is shared between these 2 tenants and the gentleman at the back. So the gentleman at the back, he would pay 1/3, and these 2 tenants pay 2/3. After a while, I realized that I was not getting any water bill at all. I contacted Water Commission, and they said that they have been sending out the bills. I said, no, man, I have not been getting the bills. And so I wrote to the OUR. And so the OUR called me and said, who is Mr. A? I said, where you get the name Mr. A from? Of course, Mr. A is Mr. D, the original tenant brother, or so-called brother. So Mr. A apparently went on the NWC website and diverted the water bill to himself. So all of last year we weren't getting any water bill. So the gentleman at the back, although he wasn't seeing the bill, he continues to pay the same amount he was paying previously. It so happened that when the OUR, after the OUR told me that Mr. A was the one getting the bill, and I contacted Mr. A, he said that he has been getting the bill. I said, have you been paying on the bill? No. I said, send the bills to me. And he sent all the bills from March, April, May, June, July, August, September, all the way down. When I get the bill was like $70,000. Of course, by this, the gentleman at the back passed off. So his 1/3 of the bill had to be paid by me. And I went in my pocket and I paid almost $30,000 for him. Right? So I said to Mr. D and Mr. A, who are still living at the premises as tenants, that they need to pay the remainder of the bill, because I'm going to get a new tenant to come in. And I don't want this new tenant to come in and see a balance brought forward. All right. Later down in the year, I realized that the original tenant, Mr. D, had moved. But before I realized that no money was being paid on the water. So no money was being paid on the rent either. So when I came by the house, that's when Mr. A was telling me that Mr. D, the original renter, had moved out a couple months before. So I said, well, you need to move. So he said he wants to rent the place. Of course, by this, there was almost 2 months rent outstanding, plus the water bill. He said he's going to deal with it. All right. It so happened that November come, December, January, I didn't get any rent. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to give you notice. I gave him a notice in January to quit the premises. In February, I gave him 30 clear days notice. All right, sometime in February, he decided to sublet the rent to somebody. I said, I need to know the name and the phone number of the person that you're subletting the place to. Mr. A let me know that he would have to ask the gentleman if he would like to share his name and number with me. No, these are tenants, and I want to know who are living at the house. And these tenants refuse to tell me who is living at the house, right? I don't know if it's criminal, thief, gunman, scammer, an illegal person, a lawyer, or a doctor. Anyway, it so happened that I realized that the tenants weren't even paying half the rent. The rent started piling, and I took them to court. They were served a summons, and they were to go to court. They did not go to court the 2nd of June when I reminded them about court. They said I must tell the judge that he is in training and he can't leave to go to court. And we went back to court. We were supposed to go back to court supposed to go back to court in July. They didn't turn up. He didn't turn up. He was notified. September, I actually cried a living eye water when I went back to court. I said, Your Honor, they are not paying their rent. Me just need them out of my place. They are not paying their rent. The judge said I must still come back. And I went back to court. And my dear, the judge gave them until about the 20th of September to leave, right? They were served the required document, the eviction document, whatever they need to be served. The judge said, make sure the bailiff serve them. And I paid the bailiff $3,500 to serve them. And they had all that ample time to vacate. All right? They still owe me close to $300,000 now. I remember I went to them, I think in August, September, and I said, listen, considering that you haven't paid any rent for all these many months, you need to put at least 2 months' rent, pay at least 2 months' rent by the 10th of October, right? When September month end come, and even October come, I was expecting to get some money. October month end, all them pay is $12,000. See the place here? $12,000, 2 bedrooms, right? The closet here I popped down. I never saw it stay. Them change the color in the room. This wasn't the color. The walls very defaced, right? If you notice, there's a lot of black on the wall. That's their work. They deface the place. Anyway, I didn't know about that. I just remember that once they had a pipe leaking, and I came with the plumber to fix the pipe, and they knew I was coming with the plumber. And the gentleman, Mr. A, come out and say, well, I'm gonna bathe now, so you and the plumber will have to come back. And that time the bill was coming sky high, and the bill has to be shared between him and the other person, and they weren't paying any water bill. Anyway, I followed the proper process, the proper procedure. Despite my unhappiness, I listened to the judge, and I decided that whatever the judge say, I will just go by it. So they were served a notice by the bailiff to quit the premises, right, by the 22nd of September. They did not quit. I waited until the end of October to see whether or not they're going to quit the premises or they're going to pay some money, and they still did not. Long and short of it is that I actually said to them, I had to go back to the bailiff office and pay $40,000 to get them out. When I went to the bailiff office, I was short $1,000, and the bailiff would not accept the money from me, right? It so happened that I reluctantly find the money, pay the bailiff the Friday, and the Friday for them to evict them the Saturday. They were evicted last week, Saturday the 29th of October. And let me tell you, after they were evicted, the bailiff and the rep placed this padlock on the grill, right, with a rope. And the tenant came back and put a padlock here, right? So nobody, the landowner, the landlady, no rep could get to go in the house because the tenants who were evicted now had put a padlock on the grill. As if that wasn't enough. And mind you, they owe over $300,000 in rent. They hit out the glass, right? I remember the night Mr. A called me and said he's gonna mash up the place. And that's what he did. He hit out the glass. So the window is broken. If you look carefully, right? The window is broken, right? And as if that was not enough, they hit out the kitchen window. And if you notice, if you can look, they hit out all of that window. And they gained back entry to the house. And when they came in the house, they went on a destructive path. They left the bathroom in a real shitty state, right? And they turned on the pipe. And they left the pipe running the whole night. See there? There's water. And this happened from Saturday. Right? See there? Water. It's a sunken living room. And this is how they left the place with a lot of mess, a lot of water. These tenants who owe over $300,000 in rent. And look at the state, how they deface the wall with this black, ugly, nasty looking paint. They defaced the water. The place flooded out. If you look in the corner, you see a big rock stone, right? Right? I assume that's a rock stone they used to hit out the window in order to come in the building, right? I always don't grill a kitchen on the bathroom window, just in case there's an emergency, there's fire, and somebody has to run out, they can jump through the window. But see there, them lick out the window, see the big old rock stone there? The window blade's gone, and they come in the house. And these are the things tenants, landlords have to put up with. When I tell you, I gave them notice in January. They were to quit the premises in February. They were served a summons. It was served a summons to go to court in March. And it wasn't until September. All these months, landlords have to go through with tenants destroying the place, mashing up the place. You can't touch them, you can't do nothing to them because you're doing it the legal way. And see it, my place is well defaced, right? Well defaced. See there, my place mash up with pure garbage, pure things, right? And if that wasn't enough, they came, they left the pipe on running. I don't even know how much this water bill going to come to. The whole of the doors them lick out. From a coming here, I don't touch nothing, right? And these are the things, and I'm appealing to the rent board. I need to be a member of the rent board because I need experienced landlords to be on the rent board, right? To be a member of the rent board so they can understand what is happening. When you never tell The landlord said them have to give a tenant notice and wait 30 days after the notice expire before you can go to court. And when you go to the courthouse, you have to wait maybe one good 3 months before you can get a date, before you can see a judge. And the judge look upon you and tell you, say, ma'am, come back September. And while all along the tenants can destroy the place, mash up the place, do all sort of things. When the tenants were evicted, they put back their things on the compound, right? People saw them doing it. They put back the things there. Some of the windows there. See the window here where them go through, right? See the big old rock there, right? And you see the mess. Okay, see the mess there? Okay. And let me tell you, you see some of these call center workers, me always sorry for them because I know where I'm coming from, right? I remember I rented the same place to this call center worker, Mr. S. And when Mr. S was leaving, he broke the sliding door. This same sliding door. And him tell me how I'm going to fix it and how I'm going to do that and how I'm going to do this. See it there? I have a sliding door and he broke it. And this sliding door cost me $36, 36,000 Jamaican dollars to fix back. And it was just one section that was broken. These are the things that landlords have to put up to. Other day, I went to the court's office because I gave a tenant notice to quit the premises. And that tenant, that notice has expired. And I'm seeking possession of recovery, or recovery of possession, I should say. And when I went, the clerk at the court's office is going to tell me that I need to present a title. I have to come with the property title in order to proceed with getting this tenant out of my place. And 3/4 of landlords in Jamaica are still paying a mortgage. They don't even have a title. But these are the stress that they put landlords in, right? So I can't just give a tenant a notice to quit, and after 30 days I turn up at the court office and try to seek help from the courthouse to get them out. I have to show that I'm in possession, I have possession of the property by showing them or giving them copies of a title. You see the stress where landlords are going through, and I'm appealing to some of these judges. Sometimes when you don't know the stress where landlords go through, some of them can't even afford to live in the house that they own because I don't live in this house. I'm living in a rented house because I can't afford to live here because the mortgage is so high. So I have to split the house and rent it out to persons, right? And only for tenants to do this, I owe me over $200,000. And when I pay the bailiff $48,000 to come and evict the tenants, the bailiff did not even hold on to a piece of them furniture. Them have big TV, them have big fridge, them have big beds. And the bailiff did not even hold on to a piece of the furniture, although that court document is showing them that the tenants owe way over $200,000. This is so sad. And a little tin mackerel and rice me eat to reach this level. It is so sad. We need help.